Right, I'm going to do the smallest bit of sage because I smoked out the whole house last week. Here we go. Okay, let's open a window. So that's what we didn't do last time. It's blowing an absolute gale today. I'm fed, so my tummy won't rumble today, promise. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Starting off with Aries. Let's get the card for Aries. Here we go. Where's that? I feel like, there we go. It was stuck up on something. Okay, I'm continuing with the Kinnet Tarot deck. It's really nice and spooky. It's got skeletons on it. Spirit guides, universe and angels, please stand beside me and guide me for Aries' highest good. How is Aries feeling in this third week of September 2025 with regards to one they're thinking about, dealing with or manifesting in? 3 cards for how Aries is feeling first of all. The 3, excuse me, the 3 of Wands reversed. Now the 3 of Wands reversed is not taking action. It's after the planning phase. The planning phase is the 2 of Wands. We've gone beyond that, okay? So we've got a plan. However, we're not actuating it for some reason, okay? Welcome into the chat. I'm just on the sign of Aries, just started. Collective readings by zodiac sign, okay? The King of Swords reversed. Now, the King of Swords, when it's upright, is someone who is truthful, intelligent, a fantastic orator, public speaker, someone who's able to be incredibly divisive and can persuade people easily, like to serve the community. It's very positive when it's upright, okay? It's Aquarian energy, air energy. When you turn it around though, if someone has a silver tongue, they're able to persuade people and manipulate people and lie to people. It's that quality accentuated in quite a negative direction. They can also, in terms of communication, they could be blocking people. So with that lack of action, you could be blocking someone, Aries. You could have decided to cut contact with someone. Or you could be lying to them, manipulating them. You could have a kind of strategy. So it's one or the other. Okay, let's see what else comes out. Thanks for the likes. The Six of Wands reversed is, well, when it's upright, it's success, it's victory, it's feeling recognised, noticed, celebrated for what you've achieved. When it's reversed, there's either failure or a lack of attention. Despite doing well, we're not feeling noticed. And a love reading, it could be that your person's not noticing you. But that's, I mean, how can it be any other way when we're not taking action and we're blocking or manipulating someone? I don't know, Aries, like, I'm not sure how else things could go. You know, if you try to cut corners, if you try to trick people, if you treat someone mean to keep them keen, it can backfire. It looks like plans have backfired here. Some sort of strategy that's a bit underhand is backfired. Or you've self-sabotaged. Let's see who comes out in your reading. Let's get some cards for that. The King of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so you're both in your masculine energy. That's not good. You're both trying to control the situation. For a nice balance, we need, I mean, everyone has masculine and feminine energy. It's just that we tend to take on more feminine or more masculine energy at any one time. And it's nice if one person has a bit more masculine energy whilst the other person has a bit more feminine. For example, you're going to butt heads, aren't you? If you're two alphas living in the same house, you might have respect for one another, but you're never going to agree on anything. You know, the exact thing that you admire one another for is going to be the demise of the relationship, because you're each going to be the one that's calling the shots, and that doesn't work. There has to be compromise. Or you could have it the other way, and you could have two passive people, really in their feminine energy, you know, expecting the other person to make the move, and then no one makes a move. Okay, and that's not good in business. That's not good in terms of house management. That's not good in terms of relationships. We need one person who's more fiery, more driven to take the initiative, more assertive, and we need one person who's more passive, more feminine, more nurturing. And you haven't got to be 100% anything, but and you can be a male and be that homemaker, more in the feminine energy, or more like happy-go-lucky, or willing to let the other person call the shots. It doesn't mean that you aren't a man, and it doesn't mean that, you know, if you're a man, that you've got to exhibit the more masculine, dominant energy. You haven't got to. There's a lot of women in 2025 that are the dominant force in their household, and it works. Sometimes you're forced to step up into your masculine energy. Say you've always been the stay-at-home wife, you know, when your husband becomes sick, or you become widowed, or they lose their job, you know, maybe you've had a part-time job and you step up to going full-time where you've always been at home. Or you know, maybe there's a lot of women that aren't good at running a household. They don't know how to organise anything around the house, you know, and they can be fantastic in the office. So you know, sometimes you need to have that non-traditional role, which is actually more common now, you know, men running the household, getting it all ticking over, like, yeah. So, with you both being in a masculine energy, there's a clash, and you're both reversed as well. It suggests that things are not great at the moment with you guys, to be honest. You could be misunderstanding each other, you know, not on the same page. Now they're pentacles, so they're like trying to be very practical. They could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They don't have to be. But that person enjoys to be, their love language is to give gifts. They like security. They like, they will want a lot of assurance. They're very practical. They like material things. They could be good looking. They could focus a lot, you know, on like taking care of their environment and what they look like and having nice things. You could be someone that analyzes things a lot. You like to plan way in advance. Your love language is to do things for others, acts of service. Okay, if you're in an air energy. You could feel like you want to overly control something. And you definitely won't feel impulsive. I'm not saying this is you all the time. I'm saying this is you in the week ahead. This is your stance. This is their stance, okay? With them being King of Pentacles reversed, they could be in between jobs right now. They could have a lot of outgoings, or they could be overspending. The Pentacles, you know, it's a Pentacles card and it's reversed. The Pentacles are falling out of the wallet, or, you know, there's a lot of outgoings, or there's less income for some reason. Let's get 2 more for them. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, hi, Luke. So I'm doing collective readings by zodiac sign. So if you watch your sign, I'm currently on Aries, but I'll go through all the zodiac signs. Or you can watch the sign of the person that you're interested in, or both. If you want a personal reading, you can look in the description for my channel, and it's £18 for a personal reading. I'll do 20 minutes and you'll know that it's your story. To be honest, a collective reading should resonate. Generally, it should resonate because they, you know, I can't be over specific, but following the long-term narrative of your zodiac sign or the sign of your person should give you an indication of whether something is likely or unlikely at this point in time. And don't forget, circumstances change, external realities change, and therefore whether you are prepared to do something or you see something as possible changes. So that's why I encourage you to watch the long-term narrative rather than just saying, is it yes or no? Will I be with them, yes or no? Because a lot of people want an answer like that. And look, my twin flames just returned after a year and a half. I never thought I was going to see them again. So the tarot called it as well. So don't think that you're just going to ask a yes or no. And the whole point of like tarot is you learn lessons through life as and when spirit's prepared to let you know. You're not supposed to just have an answer like now about the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining myself well or not, but I think you get it. Someone a year ago might have thought me and them are not possible. Now they do. Because my circumstances have changed, their circumstances have changed. So it might be a no a year ago, but a yes this year. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I do know, but if you don't want personal reading, watch the collective readings. They're completely free. And then when I get to 4,000 watch hours, I'm going to start doing live Q&As, so you will be able to get an answer for £10, something like that. an answer to a question that you've got. Like, if you say, are they thinking about me? I can obviously answer that. If you say, are we going to be together? Like, that's a bit too, like, final, isn't it? Does that make sense? Very rapid to the rescue. Hi, Samantha. Is it Samantha or Samanja? Samanja. Ace of Pentacles upright is really good news. Let me just close the windows because it's freezing. Hang on. Ace of Pentacles is what we want to see. Okay, so you can have a Page of Pentacles, which would be a small positive opportunity. An Ace of Pentacles is something financial. So assets, loans, job opportunities, something very, very positive and a large amount. Imagine this is like thousands of pentacles, okay? Aces are always something that we really want, that we've worked hard for, that we've wished for, but we've also, you know, if you could wish for like your dream job, but if you don't apply for any jobs or you don't sign up to any agencies or you don't take any courses, you know, what's that? So you've got to make something happen in the real world. But as long as you're positive and as long as you like put some stuff out there, the universe is gonna, with an ace, they're giving you like, they're throwing you a bone. They're like, here you go, here's the thing that you want, here's the thing that you've been working hard for. And I really like that, because sometimes you've got to speculate to accumulate. Sometimes even a King or Queen of Pentacles is in between jobs, but they love to be secure, so you can bet that they will work until they're upright again. Okay, so it could be that they've been in a vibe of pouring, say if you're like investing into a business and you've got initial outgoings on top of like your like bills or whatever you've already got going out, expenses, your presents for the people because they're very generous, that's going to be more outgoings, but then you get your return on your investment, don't you? So money ebbs and flows. We like an earth sign. I'm biased because I'm an earth sign. I understand us though, like we're solid, we're very solid. We like to be secure financially. I'd say that's the first positive card that we've had out, so let's see what else comes out for them. Mojo's here. Oh, why? For goodness sake. Heartbreak. I wasn't expecting that, were you? Not after an Ace of Pentacles. Do you know what though? Look at this, Aries. Like, I'm not being funny, but I feel like you've done this. That's a lack of action, despite knowing what you want to do. That's being like underhand, manipulative, strategic. And we've got failure. I feel like you've sabotaged something, and this person wanted to offer you like, maybe they wanted to offer you like to move in with them, or for them to move in with you and get on the mortgage and like be like a team. They're absolutely devastated. What was your last? Let me have a look at your last your last reading was be optimistic. You can't attract love with a negative mindset. Aries, like, I'm worried that you've like really got a chokehold on something that, well, it's gone beyond that. You've sabotaged something that could have been really good for you. Let's see what comes out in the outcome. They're gutted, they're absolutely devastated. Or you did a spiritual cleanse. This morning will be the first day with caffeine again. I wonder what will happen if you'll get like a headache the day after or something. Have you been having headaches? Because I would get headaches if I didn't have my coffee. The Hermit reversed. See, the Hermit upright is someone who's being introspective, someone who's looking within. It's the Major Arcana for Virgo. In the story of the Major Arcana, the Fool realises that the answers lie within him. Okay, so he can't ask other people, how do I feel about this situation, or what was my part in this, you know, particular... Because other people can have an idea, but really the two people in a connection know who played what part. You know what part you played, and if you don't reflect and if you don't take accountability, then it could come out this way where it's like we're avoiding looking within. You know, like a fire sign might say that's for mugs, that's for suckers, I'm not letting my fire be put out by getting all emotional and like that's weak. You know, like you know, your Aries the ram, you're the emperor, you're fire energy, you're unrelenting, you're stoic, you graft, but you are overly ambitious sometimes, like if we're honest, and sometimes you are arrogant. Fire signs are arrogant, and we can all be arrogant, you know. But I wonder if you underestimated this person and you missed out on a good thing. Because they're genuinely gutted, they're genuinely devastated, and if you meet someone when the chips are down, we could all do that and like think, oh no, that's not sexy to me, that's not attractive. I want someone who's going places, or they're not on the same level as me, and you could disregard them. But look, they've got an Ace of Pentacles, and let's see what else comes out. I think there's a need to go within here and have a little think about what's gone down. Queen of Cups. See, that can be an energy of like being more emotionally intelligent, slowing down, being patient, forgiving, being in your feels, absorbing, you know, any like tension and not projecting it onto anyone. Being emotionally intelligent, caring, forgiving, understanding, patient. It's a nice energy. It's a feminine energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. See, the Wheel of Fortune reversed is being trapped in a karmic cycle. The wheel is not going to turn until we stop self-sabotaging, until we stop being arrogant or disregarding people, or, for example, a negative behaviour pattern is to gossip. It's very low vibrational, but people do it. Some people do it more than, you know, many people put together. They're obsessed with it because, I don't know, they're bored or they're jealous or they're frustrated, things aren't going their way. A negative behaviour pattern will be seeing red flags and not heeding the warnings and staying in something. A negative behaviour pattern could be self-sabotage. I think once you reflect, this wheel will turn upright. But do you understand that this is basically a continuation of the message that we got last week, which is like, with a negative mindset, you're extinguishing the fire that you're supposed to be stoking. It's very important as well. When I was in my 20s, as a female, I would put down the person I was going out with, and I think you can really, with some backhanded comments or sarcasm and when you speak harsh words to someone, or you're flipping, or you're kind of way with the person that you're undermining them, and it erodes their sense of, like, not only their confidence and their self-esteem, but they just view you as someone that can't stand them, basically. If you keep giving out that vibe, you can kill something dead really quickly. Where you've got to a point where you think you're super safe in it. I don't think you do want to be in it. I don't think you've done this accidentally. I think you've stopped it on purpose, but I think you've possibly cut off your nose to spite your face here. Because I don't think this person was a bad option. It's possibly ego that's got in the way, but let's find out. You don't have to be with anyone, but there's some sort of behaviour here that's unhealthy, and there's a lack of reflection and introspection, and you're showing up as someone who's been either stubborn, like stubbornly blocking someone, or manipulative and halting, putting the brakes on something unnecessarily. And you don't look like you're suffering over it. You look, like you just think, oh yeah, managed to like solve that problem. And I think you're the one that's missed out, actually. Why is this King of Pentacles in the reverse? Undecided, choosing between lovers competing for affection. Did you make this person compete for your affection? Or did they make you compete for theirs? Someone's being half in and half out here. Or they could be very good looking and it's created like trust issues. It could be a bit like of a natural flirt. Just because someone's flirty doesn't mean they would actually act upon it. Do you know what I mean? Awakened rebirth. Become conscious, stay aware, and embrace the renewal of your essence. Oh my god, look at this. That's so weird what just happened then. See, these two flipped over on the top, and then it's so weird. It's like the card slid out and it turned over to make me see it. So we've got private relationship, sex shop, and falling apart, falling into pieces. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is going on here? That's just freaked me out. Oh, that's happened, you know. It's like I'm not in control of my own hands. It's freaking me out. That's freaking me out, that. I don't know who it is, Aries. I don't know if it's them. I don't know if it's you. There's been foolishness here with regards to... I don't know why I keep getting this vibe of like, you're an emperor, you're like, you know, you've got like this sense of status, ego, you're very concerned with having someone that matches what you're about, and like, if they didn't appear like they match, you could have like forced them to be with you, but not in a public relationship. Like, you could have kept it secret, and you know, they've wanted it to become more. That's where I'm going with this, but I could always be wrong. But I'm sure spirit will point me back in the right direction if that's not the case, because they are genuinely, I'm not lying, like they're genuinely devastated with the Three of Swords. That's like my heart broken, and they were offering you an Ace of Pentacles, and you're the one that's put the brakes on. So it's either that they are good looking and a bit of a player, and therefore you're like, well, why would someone like that be trustworthy? Or you got a bit carried away with like treating them like an option, and they're like, what? Because obviously you're high value, so they're thinking, well, I want to step up and like, you know, offer the emperor like X, Y, or Z. And you've been like, whoa, you're just like a toy boy, or you're just like, you know. Your smile once lit up my entire world. It's making me really sad, and it's not my story. It's actually making me feel really sad. It's clairsentience. Someone's crying about this. An aura with no dimmer switch. Let's have a look. You're my soulmate. They're completely in love with you. Maybe they were going to propose. Maybe they did propose. Maybe they're going to propose next week and you're going to turn them down. An Ace of Pentacles could be getting on a mortgage together, buying a house together, proposing. It's something really huge, like eloping, relocating together, having a child together. It must be written in the stars, because you most definitely are my destiny. We belong together. Aries. I'm actually like annoyed with you. Actions speak louder than words. If you want to know what someone is feeling, watch what they are doing. Oh, are you not into them? You're not into it, and it's either what they look like or you just think that they're like below you, like status wise. Open yourself to love. It is safe for you to let your heart be seen. Don't be scared. Whatever your reason is, Aries, I do feel like you should reconsider, because if you're worried that people will think something because they're a subordinate in work, that can be sorted out. If you're worried about culture, religion, race, class, maybe try to drop the ego and think like about this person's solid, yeah, like they've got an Ace of Pentacles, a King of Pentacles. They've got money, like they've got a really good future ahead of them. And they actually really do love you. I don't know if they're younger, I don't know if they're the same age or older. I don't know what it is that you're bothered about, but I think it's ego-based. If they're not, they're not your usual type, or like you've miscalculated this somehow. Let's get a message from them. I miss you. Do you miss me? 8 of Cups, that is, isn't it? You definitely ended this. They are devastated. You're a heartbreaker, Aries. Oh my god, what's this? Expect to settle. Do you know what it made? My first thought when I read that was like, expect to settle, like as in settling for less than what the best is. And then I thought, well, maybe it's not that, maybe it's like expect to settle down. Depends which way you interpret it, doesn't it? Expect to settle. Or like you're gonna have to settle for like someone with their warts and all, you know what I mean? Like unconditional love means the person isn't perfect, but there's gonna be really good stuff about this person. I don't know. Or if you don't open yourself up to love, then you can expect to settle. Like if you're letting your ego get in the way of true love, expect to settle for like someone who you think is the right status, and then they turn out to be a total narcissist, you know, like a GP who thinks like they are God or something. You know, like, because you can get people who are in very high status jobs that actually, I'm not saying that's everyone, but the personality, like the character and everything, it's a bit off. And so you've got like 2 nice cars sat on the drive, or you got like, do you know what I'm trying to say, don't you? Like they're very aloof, like they're not very nurturing, not very like interested in like passion or anything like that. They're just aloof and like, okay, it looks shiny from the outside, but what is that really? Do you know what I mean? I think this is, if you don't open up to true love, then you can expect to settle, because your other advice is open yourself to love. Actions speak louder than words, and your actions at the moment are to cut it dead and sabotage. And this person's actions are to offer you a huge level up, like through nothing but hard work and determination, so you'd think that you'd really admire that. I feel like I'm telling you off, but I think that's my job today. I think that's my job today, guys. Eclipse. Dance with your shadows, discover hidden aspects of yourself in the darkness. I'm telling you now that your job, your homework, is to reflect, okay? I want you to really think about what it is that you're worried about. What are you worried about? Is it something really superficial? Like, oh, they haven't got the nicest car, or they haven't got the biggest house, or they seem a bit too much creative or in their feels. Like, there's something you really don't like about this person, but it's ego-based. You're doing a good thing. Unless you're afraid of, being in love. You can be someone who's mature. Like, you can be a king or a queen. You can have kids, and you could have married the first person you fell in love with, and you fell in love with a narc. And then so you don't know what it's like, to love someone with all your heart. You know what it's like to have been in love, fallen out of love, and hated that person. So you become like someone that's not available to love, and you actually see it as a very negative thing, something that makes you weak, something that makes you susceptible to chaos, susceptible to, bad things happening to you. We need to get you some advice. Intentions. Today is a fresh start. No matter how my day was yesterday, I can make today whatever I want. My intention for the day is, and then you fill in the gap. Tape this card behind your door so you may remember as you leave your house. You're being encouraged again, like, it's time to turn over a new leaf, Aries. Like, stop sabotaging. You're gonna have to make yourself vulnerable. You deserve to have an advisor. Every emperor needs, a second in command for when you're not on top of your game, for when you've, had just about enough for a long time. You need to be able to recharge, have pillow talk, and let your guard down with a confidant, with someone who's there for you to help you recharge, so you can be vulnerable at times. Like, and that's going to be scary, and it's going to be different to what you're used to doing, but you are being more than encouraged. You're being ordered by the universe to do it. Don't cut things dead based off of ego, fear, preconceptions, preconceived ideas, prejudgment about people. Give them a chance. I don't project stuff that's happened to you previously onto new people, because not everyone's out to get you. If you're ever not sure, you just slow things down, you just go slow. You don't have to stop it completely, but if you rush into anything with anyone, that's a gamble, and that's obviously not a good idea. But definitely you're missing out on a good one here if you don't open up. time of great prosperity is on the horizon. So that could be personal to you, or it could be that you reconsider this person, and with that Ace of Pentacles, you know, you get a King of Pentacles in the upright. You may need to yield a little bit, you know, soften up, step down off the Chariot, take off the armor, open up. I think I've pulled everything I can for you, Aries. Let me get you an angel number. I'm not getting a divine timing because it's obvious that what you need to do is some reflection and move in a different way to what you've been doing, okay? There's no point getting a timing on that. Because nothing's going to change until you change. One eight willpower. Achievements, success, striving forwards, prosperity. You've had prosperity twice now. Go-getters, courage and luck. Wow, significant events are on the cards for you. You will progress in your endeavours and gain new experiences. The right people and resources will be put on your path. An excellent proposal or change is coming up. Oh, it's their Ace of Pentacles. Aries, come on now. An excellent proposal or change is coming up. You're destined for greatness. I think the same energy and enthusiasm and unrelenting attitude that you have towards, you know, you're so ambitious and like you don't stop until it's achieved, and that's amazing. That's fantastic. But apply it to someone that's really, you know, rooting for you and wanting to help you and provide you with a solid pentacles laden future. Like, you don't have to do everything by yourself. Think about what could be achieved being with someone that matches your level of success, your level of determination, your level of like greatness. All things are possible like that. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Let's move on to Taurus. If you liked the reading, please give it a like. Share, subscribe, follow, repost, support the channel. Hype me up. It's all noticed. I check everything. I check all my stats all the time. I can see where the channel's being shared to, and it's very much appreciated. Okay, we're in. It's blowing an absolute gale in the northwest of England today. It's that swirly wind that makes your hair go up in the sky and across your face, gives you a moustache, and like, oh, just you look ridiculous walking down the street. Like the hood blows down, umbrella goes inside out. It's blustery. I went out for a walk and I was just trying to like keep everything on. It's like Marilyn Monroe going down the street. I was going to say Mary Poppins, then I looked down. Oh my god, that's weird, isn't it? Yes, thinking of people taking off with the umbrella, and I thought Mary Poppins and looked down, and Very Redbeard's written that. Oh my god, that's weird. Yeah, bald and bearded. Everything stays where it should. Okay, spirit guides, universe, and angels, please stand beside me and guide me for Taurus's highest good. How is Taurus feeling in this third week of September 2025 with regards to the one they're thinking about, dealing with, or manifesting in? 3 cards for Taurus, please. Ooh, straight out. Okay, I was panicking a bit because I thought that was the 6 of Cups reversed, but it's not. It's the 4 of Cups reversed. And we've got the 5 of Wands. Okay. So let's talk about each card one at a time. The 5 of Wands is either internal conflict or external conflict. Okay, it could be both. So by internal conflict, it's like when something is bittersweet, or you're maybe not sure about something, you've got mixed emotions about it. Okay, in some ways it's exciting, in some ways we don't know if we want it long term, in some ways we don't know if it's sensible, if it's smart. You can have mixed emotions about something, you know. If it was external conflict, it would be friends, family, you know, piping up, being a bit too blunt with the things that they say. You know, stepping on toes, like elbowing in, like getting involved, speaking out of turn, making all sorts of demands, asking questions, you know, demanding to know what's going on, wanting information, you know, where you're not ready to share, or, you know, like there can be conflict like that, or they don't agree with who you've picked, or for some reason something wouldn't be accepted, you know, if it's someone outside of the same religion or the same culture, the same class. Just trying to think of different examples. Yeah, a workplace scenario, you know, it could really, or someone that's already taken something that's taboo, something that's not acceptable socially, like the 4 of Cups, when it's upright, is negative, actually. The 4 of Cups is being closed off to love. So when it's reversed, that's a positive reversal. It's becoming open to receiving expressions of love, emotion, romantic interest. So you could feel mixed emotions when it comes to accepting romantic interest, okay, for a multitude of reasons. Or there could be some gossip, some like toing and froing, or talk, in your immediate environment with friends, family, the local community, anyone, work, about who you're getting involved with romantically. Let's get 2 more for your feelings. The High Priestess reversed. Okay, so the High Priestess upright is it's Pisces energy. It's a card of using your intuition, feeling like something's meant to be, trusting your gut, believing that things are fated, things are written, it's all in hand. It's about trust, it's about faith, it's about being comfortable, being able to accept the wider picture, accept the journey, trust in the journey. It's also your ability to perceive problems ahead. When it's reversed, I think there's a lot of fear, and fear creates anxiety, okay? And anxieties can make us worry about proceeding and make us think, I don't know what's ahead, and you lose faith and you lack trust in the plan and you start to get the jitters. It's the equivalent of like, on the morning of your wedding day having a complete freak out and being like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, like it's overwhelm, panicky vibes. That's just an example. I'm not saying that you're like gonna leave someone at the altar or anything like that, but it's like when you just second guess your own judgment and you're like, well, what if something goes wrong, or what if I'm being stupid, or like I don't know how this is gonna go and I'm putting my heart on the line, like, or how is it gonna be accepted? Like maybe I shouldn't do it, like a bit of mixed emotions about something, mixed feelings, conflict, internal or external conflict about something. If it's going to cause that much trouble, is it really right? Or is that a sign that I shouldn't be doing it? Do you know what I mean? Being unsure in its simplest form. The King of Swords upright. Okay. So, interesting, because the King of Swords is air energy, okay? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could be a Taurus, Gemini cluster, you don't have to be. You could have air placements, okay? Check out your moon sign. For example, I'm Libra moon, Taurus sun, so I do overthink. I get to analysis paralysis. It's the air part of me that tries to look at both sides, and I will get to a point where I just completely get anxious because I'm like, well, if it could be that way and it could be great, or it could be that way and it could be awful. So I'm like, well, which is it? Librans can be incredibly indecisive. It's heavy Aquarius energy with the King of Swords, so it's like, I want the truth. I want justice. I want to think about the community, what's right for everyone. And I'm not going to let anything pass me by. I want all the facts. I want all the information. Information is power, knowledge is power. This is, swords are thoughts and communication. So a king is not someone that moves fast. A king is wise. A king sits and, has pages and knights go and gather information for them. And they sit and they think on things. And a King of Swords is going to think about something for 7 months or 7 weeks at least before taking action. They're a strategist. They're a thinker. They're a thinker more than they're anything. A thinker, a planner, a strategist. It's a game of chess with a King of Swords. So that's the energy that you're embodying, okay? I mean, that body language is putting a block in between, like, even whatever this challenge is. It's erring on the side of caution, and it's maintaining control. Let's get 3 cards for them. They're the 9 of Swords, so they're full of anxiety. This is something that they think about a lot. It's in the back of their mind during the day, and it comes to the front of their mind at night. They're not really getting a break from thinking about this, worrying about it. Swords are thoughts, okay, but the 9 of Swords isn't good. It's like intrusive thoughts. It's like anxiety. So it seems like you're both in the same place. You can't get the same cards twice. There's one of everything in a 70 card tarot deck. So, we could be getting the same message mirrored here. They seem like they're going through it more than you, okay? Oh my God, look. The Emperor. Wow. They've gone from being like hella anxious to taking a position of leadership. See, they've taken the bull by the horns, and I didn't even mean to, like, I'm not like doing that on purpose, but like what I mean is, you can be a victim, can't you, of your own mind and let worry take over and just make you feel like that all the time. Or you can take control and be like, well, nothing bad can happen because it's my life and I make the decisions. And if there's anything I don't want to do, I don't have to do it. And if there's something I want, I'm going to take action towards it. See, that is stepping up into your power. Okay, it's not running and hiding. I really admire that. I really admire that energy. Aries, the ram, like, I'm going to face this head on and I'm in control. So they've done what they needed to do. They've really gone. Is that a cat hiding under the bed? It is, isn't it? This is solar plexus being activated. This is where's my card? Yeah. I hold it upside down because that's the order from the root of your spine to your hips to just above your belly button. When you feel financially secure, you're more passionate, okay? When you feel like you've got your nest created, then you want to make eggs to put in it, right? And then you feel confident because you're a winner and you're assertive and you've got like a sense of, you know, like strong self-esteem. You've realised that you can go for what you want. And then you have more capacity to be like forgiving, and that's the heart chakra. The throat chakra, you know, expressing like how you're feeling to others. And then you got your third eye, trusting your gut, and then your connection to the divine with the crown chakra. So when these cogs are turning, okay, it activates the next ones and the next ones, and all becomes possible then. So this person's gone from being a worrywart, okay, to taking back control. They feel secure. They're stepping up into their power. They're probably feeling like a big sense of like libido coming back again. They could have been depressed and anxious before, lost libido, and it's gone back the right direction. I mean, I'd expect to get cups or, you know, communication like swords upright after that. Urgent messages, declarations of love, confessions, you know, Ace of Cups. So let's see what comes out. Ooh, Eight of Pentacles, growth and expansion, working on it. Well, they could have Earth in their chart if that's what they intend to do, okay? This person's determined to grow and invest. These are increments of time, money, and energy. You see the work tools. 8 is all about the future. It's about building, growth, expansion. I mean, an emperor already has the King of Pentacles. He's all 4 kings. So if he's looking to grow further, that's a real compliment. That's a real compliment from an emperor. Like, they've gone from being full of anxiety to like, it's like full throttle, isn't it? Like, I want growth, I want expansion, I want to invest in this relationship. Because this is a love reading, okay? So that's how they feel. So you're in this air energy of like caution, really trying to analyze the situation. You don't trust, you know, the situation at the moment. It doesn't mean you're going to stop it, but you are like just very much trying to gather information and not make any crazy moves. You're trying to use head over heart, head over loins. And then they are, they're fully like working on it. They're literally like, they've gone really earthy, practical, and they're like, I'm going to like approach this in a very Taurian way and make it so that this can practically work, whether that means solving legal problems, solving financial problems, you know, being open with feelings. It's much to do with assets, finances, income, jobs, savings. It's because they're an emperor, it's a person already established. It's a person already established. In the outcome, we've got the Two of Cups reversed. I'm a bit, that's upsetting because if you go a bit cold with them, well, let's see what else comes out. But the Two of Cups upright is two people expressing emotions for one another, and each person feels the same. But when it's reversed, it's like one person is offering a cup and the other's not. It's like Two of Cups is the beginning of a cycle. Okay, Six of Cups would be already in like a marriage or an established connection. Four of Wands would be marriage or established connection where you live together. Six of Cups is soulmates, lots of nostalgia, lots of memories. Two is at the beginning of a cycle, isn't it? Eight of Cups is at the end. It's in the early throes of love, right? You could really misunderstand each other here, and if you don't, they're being practical, you're being logical. Where's the heart? Where's the emotion coming into it? Don't play it too safe. This is resonating like the Aries reading here, but in a slightly different way, because they're an emperor. They're very established, more so than you. Whether they're male or female, by the way, that just means they're like boss mode. They could be older than you. They don't have to be. But no one's expressing emotion. No one's making themselves vulnerable here, or one person's going to and the other person isn't. I think you're giving each other anxiety. I think you're giving each other anxiety because you're not opening up, but we'll continue and we'll get clarification. The Devil in the outcome, and it's come out in the challenge position. So you with your overthinking, them with their overworking and trying to people please, essentially. This is the Devil on your shoulder, Taurus, is analysis paralysis, okay? And theirs could be like they're doing too much. They're going to feel like they've overinvested in something that's like, you know, the ground's about to go beneath them or something, because no one's opening up to anyone. That's the major arcana for Capricorn, but the Devil is like obsession, bad habits, infatuation, limiting, you know, beliefs, limiting behaviors, dark sides, shadow sides. You've both got a tendency to guard your heart, and that's where confusion and doubt and worry comes in, okay? Page of look, in the outcome, Page of Pentacles reverse, so someone's not going to have the confidence to make an offer because no one's like sure how anyone feels. You're each confusing one another because you actually like, it's like at the moment, something that I'm doing is I'm getting told bits of information which, you know, are being divulged to me by my person, and I'm not really, it's like I've got a poker face on and I'm not really saying much and I'm not really reacting much to it, and then they might take that as like I'm not interested in the things that they're telling me, and I actually really am. But unless I communicate that to them, or unless I convey with body language, expression, tone of voice, and, you know, questions to sort of respond, I'm going to get misunderstood, you know, and it's, I definitely do guard my heart, because that way I think I'm playing it safe, but all you're doing is missing out, you know, on a good thing, because that person's going to understand that you kind of sitting there thinking, why, what are you telling me for? You know, like it's not relevant to you, when actually it's completely relevant, and they want to know what you think about it, and they want to know how you feel, and they want reassurance, or they want like some sort of, you know, reaction that's like more than what you're giving. You're like just poker faced. So it's making me reflect, actually. I don't know if it's a me thing or a Taurus thing, but it's coming out. They could be doing that as well. Okay. They could be doing, I think you're both doing it. Let's clarify why they've got all this, or had all this anxiety. Distant, so far away, physically and emotionally. See if you can rekindle a passion again. See, they were very anxious because it had gone such a long time without contact. Physically, emotionally, it could be both. You know, if they felt like you were angry with them, or you weren't talking to them, you had them on block, you know, on social media, or like you blocked their number. You could have stopped being in an environment that they were in, you know, due to circumstances, or, you know, it could have been a conscious decision, but there was a lot of distance, physical or emotional or both, and that created a lot of anxiety, so it forced them to take initiative. Awakening jolt. From shock to epiphany, embrace the upheaval as a catalyst for renewal. That's so poetic, because look, they've become the emperor. Having been a victim, they've become the winner. Okay, because they've got into the driver's seat and they've decided, like, they can totally, you know, create the journey that they want. They can make this go. They haven't got to just wait until the sat nav tells them, like, okay, do this next. We're going that way next. They can get into the driver's seat, can't they, and choose the route that they want. And their route is towards you, Taurus. They are going to work on this. They're going to build roads where there aren't any. They're going to build bridges over rivers and mountains, you know, tunnels through mountains. Like, they are going to work on it, and they're going to make it work. But if you don't open up, they're going to panic, and they're going to think, what the hell am I doing? You know, like, I'm building this, like, infrastructure. I'm doing all this work, and I'm like really going the extra mile, and I'm getting nothing from them, you know, like in terms of facial expression, tone of voice, like response is like a few words, you know, or like very guarded responses. Like, it's not a good way to take things by being too afraid to, you know, be interested in what they're telling you, take action, try to say more, try to be more indicative of how that's making you feel, whether you're happy about that, whether you're surprised by that, whether it's a bad thing, whether it's a good thing, because they don't know. They don't know from what you're giving them. They don't know. And it's just creating doubt. But, this person knows what they want. my God, look. The same cards from the Aries reading came out. Private relationship, sex shop. This could have started off as a relationship, you know, that was in the dark, that people didn't know about. Only the two of you knew about it for like a multitude of reasons. I am getting, with them being an emperor, and then the fact that they're looking to grow and expand, is that they're single. So they could be someone who's going through a divorce, could be someone who's very established, they could be widowed, they could be someone who's making themselves single again, or someone who's been in a position of power or authority in a workplace, and you're a subordinate or something like this. Something was very taboo about this, and it could not be out in the open. It had to be a secret, and it was very kinky. Let's say that. That's just an example. It could be that you're from different cultures, different classes, different, I don't know, long distance or something, but there's been like a very private relationship that's been very passion based, that no one knows about, with an emperor. They could have children, they could be a homeowner, they could be a boss, there could be a big age difference. They could be an Aries, they don't have to be. An emperor is going to want security in the long term. They're not going to want to be running around acting like a Knight of Wands. Okay, they might behave like that. There might be elements of them, like a dark shadow side or whatever, but they're going to want security and stability, and they're going to want to know where they stand and whether they can trust you at some point. So all that's going to be bubbling under the surface as like worries, you know. They're going to want to do things in a legitimate way, because they're all four kings when they're an emperor. They are the king of swords. They prefer to be truthful. They prefer to be an upstanding member of the community. They prefer to have security, honesty. They're the king of cups. They prefer to, you know, express how they're feeling and have trust. They're the king of pentacles. They're going to want security, you know, finances, locked in and locked down. Oh my God, that's so sad. You were my home. Now you're just a place I can't return to. That is awful. Oh, that's making me want to burst into tears. Why do I feel so emotional today? It's a strange card to have out, that one, isn't it? For something that was sex-based. But it wasn't. This became like, they were in love with you. They were in love with you. They wouldn't have told you, but it wasn't just sex for them, okay? Yeah, the unspoken truth. Have you got the unspoken truth? It's cool, isn't it? They're in love with you, Taurus. I don't think they told you, and I think you both... There's been a long-standing issue with like missed communication here. And it's gonna continue to cause problems if you don't address it, okay? I would start to be more, start to ask some questions, start to, if there's things that you're curious about, ask them. You don't have to just sit and nod and smile or like stare and then like not, you know, to me, like you can lead some of the conversation because they probably want to talk about it, but they don't want to overwhelm you because they're not really getting from you like the right indications that this is something we can talk about. You probably don't want to be intrusive because I know what Taurians are like. You don't want to be intrusive. You want to be a good listener. But I think it would be a good idea to be more forthcoming, be more expressive, be more interested, curious. Like, you are interested, but show that you're interested. You need to make sure that you show it because you can do a lot of thinking, but they're not a mind reader. It's freaking them out. Like, high key freaking them out. I mean, look, you want information and they're telling you some stuff, but they're like drip feeding it to you because unless you show, you know, that you're happy to continue talking about it or you want to know more, that comes from asking questions, doesn't it? That's how we get more knowledge. And then you're going to feel better. And then they're going to feel better. And then you're going to feel better. And then they're going to feel better. And it's going to go in the right direction. And we're not going to have this. And we're not going to have that. And we're not going to have that. Do you get me? What have you been doing? Switch it up. Okay? If you've been holding back, keeping stum, just kind of nodding and like trying to give a poker face, don't do that anymore. It's time to open up and like get talkative, and like they won't. They're someone that is seeing you as home, okay, and that's because they can talk to you. That's because they've shared things with you that they never shared with anyone, and they need to know that it's going down well in order to keep doing that, okay? Fuck off. I'm so sorry, I shouldn't be swearing like that. I shouldn't be swearing like that, but that's just resonated like 100%. In both ways, okay? Blocked on social media so he couldn't contact me. But also, like, I feel like even though I'm in his presence now, I'm not on guard in my heart. I'm not speaking. I'm not saying what I think. I need to express myself energetically. Oh, that's just like, that's freaked me out so much, you know. This is everything I've been thinking about over the last few days. Because the couple of people that I've told, they're like, well, they've got all these questions. I'm like, I don't know. And I think they must be thinking like, well, why don't you know? And it's like, because I'm not asking anything. So yeah, fucking spot on. I'm getting called out on me and bullshit here. Forgive and release. You are stronger when you carry love and forgiveness rather than anger. True. Very, very true. I want a fresh start with you. It's not because of the sex, Taurus, if that's what you're worried about. It's because you make this person feel like home, like safe, like they belong with you, like they can tell you anything. This is pillow talk, you know, like this is a double bed that's empty. It's like the saddest thing, and that person just curled up. You're their emotional support animal. Their confidant, you know, their ride or die. And they're an emperor, so you know that's like the highest honour, right? That's the highest honour. For someone with that level of responsibility, for someone that has to be that practical, for someone who's that successful, you're the one person that they would take their armour off for. They don't do that for anyone else. You know what the saddest thing is? They could feel like that when you're around them if you don't start to open up. They might think that you're taking it out on them a little bit, staying aloof, staying guarded to punish them if things were off and on, or things were, you know, not smooth sailing for whatever reason, because it had to be private, because you had to be careful. They might feel like there's resentment and therefore you don't want to get close to them, but they need it, okay? They need it. Deal with it later. Let me think about the possible meanings. See, that's like reverse psychology from spirit, because you could just say, like, "Oh, I'll deal with it later, we'll discuss it later." But later never comes, does it? If you're anxious about having certain conversations, if you don't want to pry, and then you don't get the answer to any of the questions that you've naturally got, you're never going to know. And then, you know, it's going to create distance, or it's going to keep a distance where you should be coming back together. So deal with it later is like making me think, well, no, you should deal with stuff now. But it's like, that's what you haven't been doing, isn't it, Taurus? So deal with it now. Do not deal with it later. Clarity. Light a candle for clarity. Illuminate the path to your desires. Oh, bring them in, Taurus. Like, bring them in for a big hug and just open up. Like, you know, have this like all night conversation. Just talk, talk, talk. That's what they want, and it's what they need the most. As soon as you do that, you're going to feel more secure, they're going to feel more secure, then you're going to feel better, then they're going to feel better, and it's just going to go up, 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 up. Okay, think of a pinball machine and the ball's just going up like that. Release. I feel like this is like, honestly, open up your heart chakra, open up your throat chakra, okay? Today I release limiting beliefs, harmful thoughts, toxic patterns, and anything out of alignment. I'm ready for transformation. I'm creating space for a new chapter filled with love, abundance, and amazing opportunities. Things are going to go up, up, up now, okay? The only way is up. The direction is up, okay? This whole, if you look at all of this, everything here is about communication, isn't it? You've got release. Oh my God, guys, it's like, it's freaking me out. You've got release twice here. Stop trying to protect yourself by not saying anything, not doing too much, not saying too much. You need to stop doing that, okay? It's the wrong way to deal with things. You're trying to hold the cards, but it's not going to go in the right direction doing that. Oh my God, just all of that. It's just exactly, that's exactly it. Mind blown. Ooh, a time of great prosperity is on the horizon. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's get you an angel number. I'm not getting you a timing because you're already dealing with this person, okay? No way. That's, oh my God, guys. You could be an Aries Taurus cusper because we've had the same what lies beneath cards. A similar sort of message. No, I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, but a similar sort of message. And then you got exactly the same angel number. If you're early on in Taurus season, this could resonate. Willpower, 1818. Achievements, success, striving forward, prosperity. You got prosperity twice. Go-getters, courage and luck. Wow, significant events are on the cards for you. You will progress in your endeavours and gain new experiences. The right people and resources will be put on your path. An excellent proposal or change is coming up. You're destined for greatness. I think when you two like come together like emotionally and energetically as well as physically, it'll start going in a really positive direction and you're gonna like push each other, you know, like imagine like giving someone a boost over a wall. You're gonna boost each other, you're gonna like be each other's like hype person, and you know the good vibes that you get from each other, you're gonna make each other stronger on the inside, and then it's gonna culminate in like a lot of success like outwardly. It's very nice, it's very wholesome. Very nice, very wholesome. I like it. All right, take care, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please give it a like if it resonates. Share, subscribe, follow, repost, support the channel, hype the channel for me, and I'll see you in the next one. On to Gemini. Also, the deal with it later card could be like, there's some stuff that, you know, there's some stuff that you want to know, Taurus, that you can find out now just by asking. Okay, and they're not going to be mad about it. It's not intrusive, it's just normal to want to know certain things, okay, and to show curiosity is to be a good listener, and it shows them that you are there for them, and actively listening. But you don't, even if like you don't know how everything would exactly work, that also doesn't mean that it's not going to. Does that make sense? So some stuff you can deal with later. Okay, Gemini, let's have a right good shuffle. All good things come to those who wait, Jojo. Spirit guides, universe, and angels, please stand beside me and guide me for Gemini's highest good. How is Gemini feeling in this third week of September 2025 with regards to one they're thinking about, dealing with, or manifesting in? 3 cards for Gemini. First of all, how is Gemini feeling? Straight out. Oh, we've got the 4 of Cups upright. Now that's been a little bit closed off to expression of emotion from others, offers of feelings from others. Now your last one was, you're not obliged to do anything, block them. So we'll see if anything is continuing from that, or that's just nothing to do with this week. I think Gemini had a creeper last week. Right. Oh, that was weird. That was so weird. Did you see that? I tried to like just get the one card out and another one flipped over after I turned it back. You could feel like, or you may not be conscious of this, but you're not quite over the past, you know. And it could be that you miss someone from your past that you had a marriage or relationship with. Or it could be that it's put you off future connections. Somehow it's created a block of some sort, okay? Because we've got the 8 of Cups, which is walking away from a long-term connection. Now that's choosing to walk away. This is not wanting to walk away, okay? The Devil upright is like obsession, bad habits, infatuation, you know, overthinking, really wanting something too much, being like codependent. The Devil was reversed though, wasn't it? The Devil was reversed, and when it's reversed, that's breaking free from a bad habit, a codependent situation. Was someone in the past, I'm going back to some sort of past experience with, you know, a previous connection. It could have been codependent, or it could have been unhealthy somehow. Or you were closed off to love and you're not anymore because you're no longer trying to focus on the past. You got free from that. What else can we have? Something to do with the past. Six of Wands reversed. Six of Wands upright is victory, success, recognition, celebrated, being noticed. When it's reversed, it could be a lack of success, a lack of victory, a lack of being noticed, lack of recognition. When that's reversed, you don't want something to end. You don't want to give up on a past connection. But then with the Devil reversed, it's like you could have finally released. You could, because they're a combination, you could have finally released ties to the past. But then why have we got this? Because this, to me, that's like, it's like either self-sabotage or a desire to be, you know, recognised after healing from a past connection. There's like a desire to be recognised once again, but not by that person, not by that person. Just to be recognised by a new person. To have attention, to be celebrated. Where previously, you know, we were closed off. Now, I think previously you had someone that would be free in like a year's time, didn't you? They were going through a divorce or separation of some sort. Let's see who shows up for you today. See, the Nine of Wands, when it's upright, is the wounded warrior. It's someone who's trying to overcome challenge after challenge. They're very determined and they don't give up. And it's been going on too long. When it's reversed, they're choosing to drop the burdens. They're not continuing, they're not going to continue to fight the good fight anymore. They're going to give up, okay? They're going to surrender, submit to whatever, you know, outcome is supposed to happen. They're not going to keep trying to be stoic and like show fortitude. They're just going to drop the burden just by choice, you know, after a long struggle. No longer willing to see it through to the end. Now look. Five of Cups, Knight of Cups, and the Tower reversed. That's just pissing me off now. It really, ex-fiance is a Capricorn. That's mad, isn't it? That's madness. See, that resonates 100% for you. There's grief, sadness, loss, regret. There's an expression of emotion, and it's to do with the Tower reversed. Okay, so some sort of damage that was done. They're trying to undo it. Okay, they've got major regrets and they really want to approach you to reverse a broken situation. You know, a tower, when it's upright, is like a relationship falling apart, a marriage falling apart, a work contract, you know, being broken, getting made redundant. Yeah, tower's a major change, and they're trying to stop the tower from falling because they've got major regret. And the Knight of Cups is a very romantic energy. It's, you know, it's Romeo and Juliet. Like this person doesn't want to live without you. If it's the person you're currently dealing with, it has to be you. You know, like they just cannot. They can't stay away from you. They're gonna have to pursue you. They're very in their feels, and it has to be you. Yeah, it's being in love. It's like dreamy, like it has to be you. But it's not romantic because they're devastated. It's like, you know, romantic tragedy. It is Romeo and Juliet. Oh, God. You got ghosted. Oh, my God. That's awful. That's really bad, Jojo. I'm sorry that happened. The High Priestess. The High Priestess upright is Pisces energy. It's intuitive. It's trusting the divine, having a good connection with spirit, feeling like you've got the instincts to be able to see what's coming next, intuitively. You know, like a lynx can feel every vibration. It has a strong sense of smell. They can see really well in the dark. They can see things that are hidden. This person feels like on a spiritual, whoever this is, if it's, you know, an ex or someone that you're currently dealing with or manifesting in the future, they're really trying to go with their intuition. They've got a lot of regret about the past. They're still in love. They wish to express emotion and they wish to reverse a tower. So a major collapse of a situation. Let's get 3 for the outcome. We've got the Queen of Wands reversed. So the Queen of Wands upright is someone who's confident, solar plexus activated, they're goal orientated, highly driven, they go for what they want. It's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, heavy Sagittarius energy. In a love reading, it can indicate the other man or the other woman, but it doesn't have to. It can just be someone who's very seductive, very assertive, very confident, you know, quite egoic, quite vain. When it's reversed, it's someone who's lost their libido, lost their sense of ego, lost their sense of pride, is no longer, you know, like assertive. What's the opposite of being assertive? Passive. They become passive. It could be, you know, like a weak vibe, or it could be over the top, assertive, like dominant, overly lusty. But with the other cards on that side of the spread, I would say it's the weak, passive side. Because they're in grief, right? And they're all in their feels with that Knight of Cups. It's just, look how much water there is. There's so much water. The fire's out, like there's so much water. They're just crying a river over here. It's like Niagara Falls. So I wouldn't view them as seductive and, overly lusty, would you? Or like domineering. They're in like a very watery energy. There's no fire there. That's true. You see what you're made of and you see what they're about, don't you? See what they're made of, what they're capable of. I've been shown that by people. I've been shown what they're capable of. Capable of just dropping cold, detaching, totally flipping on you. The Magician upright. So the Magician is all for aces. It's having all the tools to succeed. That's weird, isn't it, after you saying that? In the outcome, someone feels like they've got all the tools to succeed, okay? They've got the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, meaning they've got the tenacity with the Ace of Wands, they've got the drive, the motivation, they've got the resources with the Ace of Pentacles, finances, practical situations, assets, income, opportunities for growth, qualifications. With the Ace of Swords, they've got the knowledge, the ability to communicate effectively. They've done their research. Truth and justice is on their side. With the Ace of... what am I missing? The Ace of Cups, they've got forgiveness, healing, the capacity to love unconditionally, to have self-love, to heal, to be patient. The Magician is like, I can make anything come true. I can make anything possible. I can make my dreams a reality. I can make this come back together, or I can, thrive by myself. Like, whatever it is, that's in the outcome, which is great. The Hermit reversed. Now, the Hermit reversed could be there's a need to reflect, introspect. It's the major arcana for Virgo. Or it could be that you're coming out of hermit mode. Okay, so that's in the outcome. Why have they got the Nine of Wands reversed? Why have they got the Five of Cups and the Tower reversed? Let's find out. That's mad how well that resonated for you, Jojo. That's insane. Dream world. Living in a fantasy land, illusions, not real love. That's what they've got for them, okay? So they could be trying to... Yeah, they could have like a sense of delusion, like, the delusional. They're trying to like create a narrative where there's love where there isn't, or like that there's still going to be feelings, that, because after something like what she did to you, there's no way that you would forgive that, not at all. So they are like delusional if they're thinking of coming back and professing their love. That's crazy, you know. I had someone that, you know, he was a teacher and he was like also like senior leadership. And he was like, I can't come round even though you're like bleeding post-op and you're distressed and crying because I've got to get my data in. And I'm like, if you're like person, if you're like literally your other half is like seriously unwell and there's medical complications, you drop everything and you tell work and someone else can get your data in. Do you know what I mean? And like, I wasn't a teacher at the time, but even I know that that isn't life and death, is it? It's not life and death. It's a deadline that needs to be met for work, but someone else can input that data. And he was a workaholic and he was ignoring his own health. And that's another story. But to ignore mine as well, no, sorry, you're not able to be there for me in an emotional capacity, a physical capacity. So that was a major red flag. And yeah, relationship can't thrive and people deserve better than to be treated like that in their, it's not even hour of need. It was like, he could have got in the car and been like 20 minutes and he could have been with me, do you know what I mean? But he had to get his data in. And I was like, shit scared. So it's like a similar situation. Someone else also treated me really badly. Left me in a hotel by myself in the middle of nowhere during the night. Had no like regard for my safety, you know, absolute jerk, blocked me so I couldn't express like how that made me feel when I realised that I'd done that, and then tried to come back and like wanted me to just like start dating him again. And it's like, are you out of your tiny mind? Like, I don't understand how people think that they're coming back from particular actions. How do you think you're coming back from that? It literally changes how you feel about them, you know. And he was wording it like, well, we've got a really good thing, like don't let something like that come between us. And it's like, had a really good thing and you came between us. Actually, stuff didn't come between us, like it wasn't outside circumstances, was it? It was you. So they don't like to take responsibility, so that's the biggest red flag of all. I think some people are just like, they don't want to take responsibility, they don't take accountability. And even though he said, you've only ever been good to me, well, that makes it, it's good to acknowledge that in a way, but then it's like, well, if I've only ever been good to you and you know that, and you did something really out of order, that means it's going to happen again. Because you can't tell me like why you did do it. You just know that I didn't deserve it, so that means it's going to happen again, isn't it? Solo refuge. In solitude's embrace, singles find the strength to regroup and rediscover their path. Wow. It doesn't matter how good looking a person is or like what it is that they've got about them, if they're really good and bad or any of these, like, you know, things that tempt us. It's how you make a person feel, and if you make a person feel like that, you've lost them forever. Like, it does not matter what you look like, lovely. Like, there's loads of people that are pretty, there's loads of people that are handsome, and there's loads of people that do it with grace. They don't need to be a disgrace. Do you know what I mean? Ooh, doing drugs. They could be, it doesn't mean that they're like having illegal substances. They could be, but they could just be overdoing it, you know, like spiraling, drinking a bit too much. partying, trying to, you know, forget, but it never helps you forget, does it? You sober up and then you hungover and break as well. And it's just not a good idea. If love had a weight, would you still carry it? If you ask, I'll stay. That's the unspoken truth. Do you feel like that bit is like love is scary, like it's really heavy, because if you lose love, it fucking hurts. It really fucking hurts. And if someone that loves you hurts you, oh my god, you can go from feeling like you haven't got a care in the world to the most miserable soul, you know, like Grace in the Planet. When you like fall in love with someone and you realise they don't love you back, that hurts. When something bad happens to someone, you know, because of illness and they're taken away from you, that fucking hurts. Like, love is a bitch as well as like being beautiful. It's hard as well as like light. It's heavy as well as light. So, but you have to apply it to your own situation accordingly, because we've given examples of what is unacceptable heaviness, where that person's caused heaviness where it needn't have been. It needn't look like this. Do you know what I mean? Love shouldn't be like this. Things should naturally flow, and it should be light, you know, 99% of the time. You have a couple of things to, you know, agree on just in a practical sense, but most of the time it just flows. If it's like at the point where it's half and half, or it's just constantly confusing, or they constantly need forgiveness, or they're trying not to take accountability for things and they're just saying don't let external stuff come between us, where like actually they did. They're that rock. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit manipulative, that. I don't like it. You know, I would never do what is being done to me. I would never do that. I would never, no. If we'd had an argument and the person was aware and was awake and I left, that's different. But to leave someone thinking everything's fine and then just leave in the middle of the night is disgusting behaviour. And to block them so they can't even express, like, to have the audacity to then come back and try to, that is the biggest like mind fuck of like them all, to just try to like be like, oh well, it's been a few months, so she'll have forgotten. What IQ do you think other people have? I don't get it. I really don't. Like, wow. Attached to my ex. I'm attached to my ex emotionally, physically, and or spiritually. I need time and space to break this connection. Ooh, so they could have not been over someone when they met you, and that's why they didn't go all in. That can happen if the person has passed away and you struggle to, you know, unpack that and process through that. If you're still grieving and someone wants a relationship, you can obviously like sabotage it because it's just not the right time. I've had that happen. or the person's become very unwell and you're basically like their carer, and then someone wants a relationship with you. Actually, really, like, under different circumstances, you could see it working really well, but there's just no way, like, that you're in that mind frame of like, oh, you haven't got the capacity. I got out with someone with PTSD from being in the army, and he just didn't have the capacity to like function normally. And I was like, well, why did you come towards me then? But then I guess like everyone wants to try to feel normal, don't they? So that's what he did. But certain circumstances are not going to allow something to thrive. If they're a person that has had trauma when they're younger, like maybe their response to stuff isn't right, or they've just recently, been broken up with or something, but why are they still attached to their ex? I mean, only they know why. For example, my most serious relationship that I've had, I'll always be attached to them until I experience something that outgrows it, something that lasts the same amount of time, that has the same intensity. I may never find that again, do you know what I mean? And that scares me, that I may not find someone that matches me that well or that treats me that well again. And it may cause me to sabotage things that come along that are newer, especially if they were to move too quickly, or I just was comparing them in some way, like, not making excuses for this person, but it looks like when they met you, they weren't over someone else. But the intention is to release them. The intention is not to deal with them still in any way. But well, actually, it says emotionally, physically, and spiritually, so they could be dealing with them still. Like when someone's in love and they continue to be physical with the other person, but the other person's not in love with them. That's bad. Somehow, whether it's emotional, physical, spiritual, one, two of those things, all of those things, they're somehow not over their ex. Okay, that's the reason for what they did. Why is everything so heavy today? Oh my god. It's a pathetic fallacy because we've got the gale force winds outside. Everything's swirling around, like, internally, externally. It's all going on. Oh my god. Jojo, like, are you blown away by, like, what's come out here? Because we had the drugs card, didn't we? And then attached to the ex. Oh my god, it's mad. Unbreakable. Oh my god, look at this. Unbreakable love. This person has genuine love for you. You can overcome any issues that may arise. Twin flame. You've got a twin flame. This person is your mirror soul. This is why this connection feels so sacred to you. That's why you can't move on from it. There must have been some parts of this that were really good. Because twin flames are like magnets, like you can't keep away from each other. But then there's a lot of drama because when you're together, it's like emotionally loaded passion, and then there's a lot of drama and there's long periods where you're apart. Like my twin flames just returned after a year and a half of no contact, and then a year and a half before that of like off and on drama, like non-stop drama. And I mean, when we like, there would be like gaps of like a week, then there would be like 2 weeks, and there'd be like months. But I knew that they were in love with me, Like, I wouldn't put up with that from just like a go-to person or like someone I'm just sleeping with. Like, I knew they were in love with me. But it was like very, with twin flames, you're supposed to stop being runner chaser. Okay, whoever's running stops running and they turn around and go, where you gone? And then they start chasing. and you stop chasing, you know, and you turn around and you're like, what have I been doing? And you walk away, and so it triggers healing in one another. And that sounds really simple, but it's not. It's in the longest period, like years apart, that you both go through an ascension. So my ascension was to become more financially independent, to focus less on relationships, to build my career, to broaden, you know, my confidence, like generally. Theirs was to heal spiritually, emotionally, and focus less on work, less on finances, less on status and ego, and more being authentic about where the feelings are now, why they run away. It was a lot of emotional and spiritual work, and a lot has been done in the year and a half apart. I got to the point where I just thought, we're never going to come back together. But that's what's supposed to happen in a twin flame thing, because we do the most growth when we're going through challenges. Okay, if everything was fine and dandy all the time, or we were just running around falling in love with people and never really reflecting on it, or never triggering healing in each other, we would just be the same person we were at the start. And life isn't about that. It's, you constantly change and grow. You constantly change and grow. That's what this is all about, this crazy ride. But twin flames are the most important, more than marriage, more than like babies and, you know, your textbook white picket fence. Anyone can do that, and that makes it sound like nothing, but they are soul connections. They are important connections, but they're quite day to day. A twin flame is the most profound connection, because nothing is going to make you go through such an ascension like that. Nothing's going to feel as crazy as that. Nothing's going to be as passionate as that. It's going to feel toxic at times. It's going to feel chaotic at times, but it's going to bring out, you're going to unlock a new level of ascension, and it will be over different areas of life. You won't be necessarily ascending in the same, you know, like I said, my area was financially and becoming more independent, and theirs was emotional and spiritual. They've got like mother wounds and shit like that. So you know, their finances are like perfect. They could have stayed exactly where they were, you know. We've all got spiritual homework to do. So really, being someone's twin flame, although it's fucking uncomfortable, and you certainly pay a heavy price for the passionate times, brief passionate times, the learning and the how much you evolve, the evolution that you cause in that other person, the evolution that they cause in you, is, it's unquantifiable, honestly. It's infinitesimal. It's like makes everything else pale into insignificance. That doesn't mean you feel like that about at the moment, because it depends where you are in your twin flame journey. If it's early on and you're in the chaos, or you've entered into a period where you've been in no contact, but it hasn't got to the point where, I don't know, you know where you're at in it, don't you? But that's very significant, that card. Hi, Donna. I'm just looking back because I know there was someone else that I meant to say hi to. Ruin. Sorry. Or Ruin. It's a nice name. Where's everyone watching from today? Okay, so we've got the Leo Major Arcana, the Strength. There's a need to be emotionally strong. Another 8. I want you. I'm trying to think 8 of what? Because 8 of Wands is fast action, progress, fast communication. Can't be 8 of Cups because that's negative. 8 of Swords is mental entrapment, feeling stuck. What am I missing? 8 of Pentacles is growth and expansion. I want you. You are wrong. You are wrong. You matter. They made you feel like you don't matter, but it's because they're attached to their ex. You're wrong, I want you. Unbreakable love. Oh my god. God, it's absolute tea coming out today. I don't know if I can handle another reading. I need to lie down. Oh my god. I need to lie down after like doing these, honestly. I wonder what's gonna come out for Cancer. It's not being very light, is it? Wait. Oh my god. It's absolute tea getting served up. What have I just been saying? Transformation. Transformation is brewing. Embrace change and harness its magic. Okay, we're 100% getting a timing on this. There's not a chance I'm leaving that without a timing. When is there going to be a significant change here? More patience is required. So you've got wait and patience. Transformation is happening. I'm sure you had April on your last, maybe not last reading, but one before. April next year, something significant's going to happen. It's much of a muchness, really, because it depends on what spiritual work they do and how quickly they ascend. You can't control the pace at which another person heals. My person made practical changes in their behaviours, their circumstances, their lifestyle, everything after I did. It was a difference of like 6 months, but the changes they made are like the ones that you'd want. Do you know what I mean? Like if there's one thing they could have done, they did it. And so I was just happy for them, really, because I don't want them to be suffering anymore. I don't want them to be in distress anymore. I don't want them to be having drama anymore. I can see the toll that it's taking physically, and I'm worried if they carry on that path, what the outcome for them will be, whether they come back to me or not. That's unconditional love. Okay, so even if someone is bringing us some chaos, even if things are confusing, you can still have unconditional love for them and think, well, I'm going my way and I'm going to look after myself because that's what I need to do. I'm not in control here. This is bigger than me. And I just know for me and God, this is what I need to focus on, these things. Surrender all that. And then, you know, it could be a year or 2 years or whatever number of years before they... Because where there's trauma or something intense that they need to face, it's going to make them feel emotionally overwhelmed, isn't it? So people choose to run from it or they choose to face it. And sometimes things catch up with them so much that it culminates in a big tower. Well, didn't we have a tower that was like, yeah, that tower's going to fall eventually. You can't stop it. You cannot stop it. That's going to fall at some point, and that's what happened with my person. Because they tried to keep all the plates spinning, and then it was like, boom, you know? But it kind of like prompted change that... What would you describe? Something like tremors before an earthquake, and the tremors get stronger and stronger and stronger until, you know, the lid blows off the volcano, all the pressure's released, you know, and it's mayhem and it's destruction. But afterwards there's recovery, you know. Afterwards things are rebuilt, the structures are put back in place, and maybe they're more modern and stronger, and, you know, it's like very, that sense of renewal, and you cannot hold it in. Like, that tower's gonna fall. We've done them, done them, done them. New adventures. Today I open myself up to new adventures. I go out and do something I've been holding back from. I move through the fear rather than let it control me. I trust my intuition and follow my desires. Water my dreams. All I desire is on its way to me, but like a seed, my dreams too must be watered. My belief and determination is what makes them grow. I'll be patient throughout this journey. It is all unfolding at the perfect time. Expansive. Every day I'm learning new things and expanding into my highest potential. It's not time lost. If you think, oh, you know, like, what a waste, like, I've got all these feelings for this person, it was on, it was off, it was on, it was off, I think I've lost them. Like, it can feel like a loss, can't it? But it's not. That time that you get to focus on you now isn't time lost. That's time well spent. You know, that's investment, that's enjoyment, that's strength, it's courage, it's all like good things coming out of that. Whether you're focusing time, money and energy on the people that you love and care about that show up for you, whether you're investing time, money and energy into hobbies that you've always wanted to like embark upon, travel that you've always wanted to do, that's things gained, that's not lost. Focusing on your health, that's things gained, that's not things lost. Okay, so you got to reframe it. People being released to go and process through stuff that's difficult for them, that's time gained, that's not time lost. Time lost is when we deny that we've got anything wrong, that we're trying to keep all the plates spinning, keep posting perfect family photos that everything's fine, keep smiling at work saying everything's fine. That's time lost, that's not time gained. Okay, so when you drop the mask or the tower falls or all of these things, it's time gained, it's no more time lost. Okay. good fortune card. A magical moment will change everything. Be ready. Oh my God. So, something's coming. Something really... That tower's going to fall. And it's going to change everything. It's going to change everything for you guys. Seven, 7, good luck. That's your angel number. Contentment, prosperity, abundance, spiritual awakening, divine intervention. You had divine timing, didn't you, and divine intervention. Spiritual awakening, contentment, prosperity, abundance. This message is most likely to reach you during intense uncertainty. You'll come out winning from everything that may come your way. It's also a sign that you have much life experience and wisdom to share, yet you'll need enthusiasm and effort to get this message to others. Wow. I'm blown away by the readings today. That's very cool. We like that. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was worth the wait. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, repost, support the channel, hype the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. What time is it? Because I've got pottery tonight. 4 o'clock, we're fine. I need to leave at 5:30. Ooh. You got a wiggle in your wobble. Oh my God. Right, Cancers. Better be. Well, it's going to be what it's going to be, isn't it? But it's been blooming intense so far. My God. I mean, we had our last full moon of the summer, didn't we? So I shouldn't be surprised, really. I mean, fall is a time of change. It is a time of renewal. Old things, you know, the leaves are falling down, and you know, the buds are already starting for next year. So I like this time of year. I really like it. It's a time of reward. Oh, thanks, Mojo. Jojo. You know what I mean. Just gonna be Mojo now. Thanks for joining us. Glad you got to see the live. I'm glad it resonates. Cancer, okay. I hope, I think we're doing oxides this week in my pottery course. So I think it's a bit of learning, and then hopefully I'm glazing the pots that I've been making. Because I tell you what, it's not that I'm struggling to sleep, I just haven't been going to sleep. Like, I've been burning the candle at both ends, been getting up to all sorts. It was due. But I'm on my arse, so there's going to be some wobbly arse pots if I'm meant to be throwing anything today. Usually I'm right in there, but I'm very drained. Hi, Angel. Spirit guides, universe, and angels, please stand beside me. Oh, you're watching from Australia? That's cool. Hi, Luke. I don't do pick a card. I'm doing collective readings, and there's loads to get through. I'll start doing live Q&As and memberships where I'll let you do pick a cards. That's something I can put on there. I'll do career readings and Native American, Indian medicine wheel. I can also teach you tarot. Yeah, if you want to have a membership, but I need to get to 4,000 watch hours. I can also do personal readings if you want to book personal reading. It's £18. So it'll definitely be, resonating with you. It's just your energy and your person's energy. 20 minutes plus. It's usually way over that because you know me. But otherwise, watch your reading and watch the sign of your person as well. You want to follow the long-term narrative. It's much better than, getting a yes or no or something like that, because your circumstances change and how you feel and how other people feel and whether they're likely to say yes or no to something. It's all movable. That totally changes. What seems impossible 1 year is totally possible a year later. I'm living proof of that, okay? So, I don't really like to give a yes or a no to stuff, even though I could make loads of money by charging people that, but I don't. I'd rather that you understand tarot and the patience required to see what's going on with someone in the long term. It'll be more accurate for you. The Fool, Cancer, the Fool. It's Aries energy. The Fool is 0, so this is a reset number. This means we're on the precipice of jumping headfirst into something new. Okay, with lots of enthusiasm. The most enthusiasm a person could have. What are you up to, Cancer? I'm a Scouser. I'm from near Liverpool, but I do get a bit of a Manc accent because I've got some Mancunian friends, and then one of my favourite readers that I watch every day is Empress of Energy, and she's Manc. She's a Mancunian, so like if I listen to the same people like daily, I sort of emulate their voice, not on purpose. It's just I get more Scouse when I go into Liverpool or Birkenhead. What is going on here? Right, so you've got the Fool, and then you've got the 8 of Cups. So that's walking away from a relationship. So your new chapter is to leave an old relationship behind. An old love behind, an old, whatever you were previously invested in, you are gone. Ooh, 9 of Pentacles. I like it. Single, ready to mingle. Don't care if no one comes along. Just happy doing me. Happy, like secure, confident, financially abundant, looking good, feeling great. I like it. It's like an ego death, Yeah, £18 is good, right? Like some people get greedy with it, but I just think you work really hard for your money. You work really hard for it. I do. I'm a full-time high school teacher, and I can't afford to be paying stupid amounts for a tarot reading, which is, let's be honest, getting the energy of what's happening that week. It's a moment in time, so then it becomes worthless a few weeks later. Their circumstances have changed, how they feel has changed, and you're supposed to spend another 80 quid or whatever it is, stupid amount someone's like asking for. It's greedy. It's really greedy, you know, and I know what it's like to go down a rabbit hole of looking at tarot channels, and you end up following like, you know, 30 different channels and watching everything, getting all confused, and then you get addicted to it. And it's like, you need to just undo that. If you have like some readers that don't do anything that annoys you, you feel like, you know, they're genuine in what they're doing, and you just want to focus on like 5 or 6, definitely less than, you know, 8 or 9 readers. You don't want loads of channels that you're following, because you'll get all confused. Especially if some of them sometimes really resonate. Focus on them, you know, and make sure that the rest of your day, you're going out and seeing people and being productive. You don't want to just sit watch tarot constantly, because it's very emotional and it can drain you, but you can also get really confused. And I just don't think all your hard-earned money should be going, you know, for the amount of time and energy that you put into your jobs to get that money saved up. I don't think chunks of it should be going on stuff that's just telling you what someone feels like right now. Because it's going to be different in a few days or a few weeks. That's my point of view. As someone who buys tarot readings from my favourite readers, I don't do it often. I probably do it like twice a year. And it'll be the ones that are smaller channels and they're cheaper, because guess what? They resonate. They resonate the same as like anyone else. Right, your person, Cancer, is coming out as a King of Swords reversed and the Four of Swords reversed. They're very restless. They're possibly prepared to tell you whatever it is that you want to hear. They might be tempted to embellish, to lie, to sugarcoat, to manipulate, to love bomb. They're very, very, very restless. Because the King of Swords upright, you know, would be like a positive card of knowledge and communication. When it's reversed, we're either blocking people, or we're saying nasty things, or we're like manipulating them, we're twisting things and, you know, persuading by lying or exaggerating or omitting truths. It's very manipulative energy, that. So it's either blocking, but with the restlessness, like a lack of respite and not being able to sit still, I wouldn't say that that's blocking someone. I'd say that's like bullshitting someone or manipulating someone, or, you know, like trying to do the most. Hi, Laverne. Also, if ever anyone wants a mediumship reading, you know, for a loved one that's passed away, I'm very happy to pull some cards and some messages from them, and I don't charge for that. You just need to ask me. The Eight of Pentacles reversed. Maybe they are blocking, because the Eight of Pentacles reversed is a lack of growth. It's withdrawal of investment. These are work tools, and if it was upright, it would be the future, it would be growth and expansion. You know, I am investing increments of time, money and energy into blowing this up into something strong, going towards the 9 and the 10 of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, you know, being lasting generational wealth, where you put two incomes together. Usually that's how we get there. You know, in a career reading, that would be like, oh, I'm trying to grow and expand and take on courses and develop myself, start a business or do whatever, add more trades so I can become the Nine of Pentacles. But in a love reading, we're trying to get to the Ten of Pentacles, aren't we? So that's just an intention to invest, actively invest into something because you want it to survive and thrive and go into the future. But that's reversed. So I would say that's a lack of investment. It could be a deceitful person, okay, if they're being manipulative and they don't actually mean to invest, or they're going to try and get money out of you. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, for an example, a narcissist will marry you even though they're not in love with you, because then they get a constant supply of money. They might be very manipulative because they're very charming, they're very good looking, they know how to turn it on when they need to. They're very sexy, very confident in what they look like. You know, there might be just things about them that you're very attracted to, but then they're just a deceitful swindler, you know, and they want, you know, to control you, and they'll stay with you. So some people like that because they sort of guaranteed that the person will never leave, but then they end up with just chaos and like no money and plenty of people on that merry-go-round as we live and breathe. But you know, some people, you know, like Tinder swindler, that they just eventually want to take the money and go, don't they? It's like, or you get people that bloody bump people off, like murder them and like claim the life insurance or whatever. It ranges. It ranges. But I don't want to frighten anyone, but that's what we're dealing with. Potentially someone that was gonna, you know, trick you into tipping them over a load of money. But it looks like you've got onto it, or you've released it, or let go of it, or walked away from it, and you know, you're single and abundant. You got plenty of money to pay your own way. You don't need anything like this going on. Narcissists are very, very busy people. There's spider webs everywhere, okay? It's very tangled. There's lots of lies going this way and that way, that so many that they can barely keep up with it all. It's not a lazy person, it's a very busy person. The Emperor, they've got the Emperor and the Three of Swords reversed. So they've gone from the King of Swords reversed to the Emperor and the Three of Swords. So they're healing from heartbreak. They've become like boss mode, you know, or Four Kings. So they're, how would their money situation improve if they're withdrawing time, money, and energy? I don't like, did they take your money? Or were you married to them and you left them? I don't like that. Why have they become the Emperor? I don't like it. I'm not happy for them. I'm not happy for them. Hi, Ramo. What sign are you? Well, my voice is going because I've been talking so much. And your Cancer, it could be about you and her then. The Queen of Cups. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is a card of emotional intelligence. It's healing. Yeah, she's immersed in water. Water is emotions. She's refilling her cup. Okay, so this is someone who's very emotionally intelligent. They're healing, they're forgiving, they're patient, they're understanding. They absorb stress, they don't emit it onto people. It's a very calm, a very calm card. I would say that to you, Cancer, because you've walked away from a connection. You become single and abundant, you're healing. They're healing because they got the Three of Swords reversed, but I just don't like that they've bossed up, like, after withdrawing time, money and energy and a lack of growth. Putting a lack of growth into something. It's not really good English, is it? A lack of investment into something. And then there was like manipulative energy and like blocking. I didn't like it. Unless they were just like responding to your lead. Or you responded to them. Does seem like, like that, doesn't it? Like, because the timeline makes sense completely. We've got the Two of Pentacles, which is reciprocity, duality, give and take, a need for balance. And then we've got the Five of Swords reversed, which is avoiding arguments and drama, back and forth verbally, trying to avoid division, trying to find balance, reciprocity in the outcome, patience, forgiveness. I think there's a separation and I don't know if it's mutual or you prompted it or they prompted it with their behaviour and you responded to it. But it's the timeline's spot on for a separation. I'm sure something turned over then. The Hanged Man. Now that's being willing to see things from a different perspective. We're not moving, we're at a standstill. We've put ourselves, we've tangled ourselves up so that we can't move, so we can't make any mistakes, so that we can not just see things from our point of view, but other people's, and then like not make any rash decisions. They could have air in their chart. They could have Aries in their chart. They could be an Aries. They don't have to be. It's all like swords and pentacles, isn't it, on their side? Voice is going. And you've got water. So that they've got air and earth. And you've got water and earth. So do you see how they're like more manipulative and more analytical and logical and rational, where you're more emotional and grounded and watery, and there's feelings involved, emotional intelligence involved. It does seem quite narcissistic on their side, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll clarify. You've been wrong before. I've changed my mind before. Conquest. Just another notch in the headboard, or the real deal. Actions speak the loudest. Oh, that's awful. No contact for 5 months. Oh, that's really sad. Oh, I hate that when they return your stuff to you. It's humiliating. It feels like so final as well, doesn't it? Well, that sounds spot on for what you're saying, where I said they're very logical and, you know, stepping into their like leadership, withdrawing investment, and you're very like, yeah. It's weird, right? Because you actually are like very independent and financially like capable, abundant, generally like abundant with love, abundant with money. You can pay your own way. If you need to leap into a new chapter and away from this, you will do, because you need reciprocity, right? Cancer, you know, the story, it's a really nice, the Greek mythology behind the Cancer zodiac sign is really nice. The crab is very, very brave, and it grabs onto Orion's foot, and Orion kicks it into the sky. But Cancers are very, you know, protective, very brave. You've got a very hard exterior. You know, you try to save people and help people. You're very resilient. You can, you know, that shell, that exoskeleton can take a good bashing and be absolutely fine. Well, I think sometimes people go no contact because they're trying to get their head together. It's often not to manipulate, it's more because everything's crumbling down. Sorry, my voice is going. It doesn't mean you won't hear from them again. You often do. But it could be a while, I'm not going to lie. It could be tomorrow, it could be in a year's time. But you know, if it doesn't make any sense, if it feels like unfinished business, then you will probably hear from them at some point. But it's a self-preservation, like a coping mechanism, because they're not in a place to talk about anything, and there could be multiple things that are falling apart in someone's life. You know, it's, if a picture doesn't make sense, it's because you don't have all of the stuff that you don't know about, the stuff that you're not aware of, okay, because they haven't made you aware of it. You got to be honest with yourself, you know, and trust your own gut. Like, if you know the way someone looks at you and the way that they feel about you, their actions don't fit with that, there's something going on that you're not aware of, or that they don't want you to, you know, get involved with. And at some point they will come back to you. If they're enlightened enough, you know, if they do the spiritual work. Well, we'll see what we can find out. Hopefully my voice will make it to the end. I'm so sorry to yawn. I've been getting up to all sorts, so I haven't slept. I do not apologise. I apologise for the yawn, but I don't apologise for getting up to all sorts. Clouded vision. Recognise and discuss red flags or areas of concern. Yeah, so we know there's something going on, don't we, that the picture doesn't add up. In a fog, fear, obligation, or guilt makes you stay, get clarity. They're worried about whether this is the real deal or, you know, it's just like a passion-based thing. It doesn't mean that you're doing that to them, or, yeah, that's their perspective for whatever reason. They're worried about that. They're in a fog, they don't know what to do. Trusted ties build rapport, belief in mutual respect, and respond with understanding. Dance of souls, be vulnerable and let your two hearts intertwine. Moonlit unity, use understanding to have greater emotional balance. Now that looks to me quite positive, having looked a bit off to start with. They've shut down emotionally, they've gone logical, they've gone mind over matter. But there's a lot of stuff there about becoming vulnerable emotionally and, you know, opening up to each other and getting greater emotional balance. So interesting. Let's keep going. I don't really know anything about black magic, but I know that you can protect yourself from spiritual attacks by saying, return to sender with love. You can ask your angels to protect you and your family, from anyone that wishes you harm. There certainly could be other people trying to interrupt this connection. But they're usually doing that quite directly, to be honest. Like friends or family, colleagues, people who, I don't know why people interfere, but they do. There's lots of reasons why people interfere. Recording, announcing, expressing, revealing truth. What was in the outcome again? Healing, reciprocity. Trying to avoid division. Willing to see things from another perspective. Someone's true feelings are going to get exposed, and I do feel like you're going to come back together. It's really strange. Right, let's keep going. Just because there were so many cards here that was about, like, a peaceful resolution, you know, a dance of the souls, like greater emotional balance being achieved. Where we've been all logical and, like, you know, domineering. Every person who leaves takes away something you no longer need. It's quite, there's a lot of layers to this, isn't there? Because it's like, you could say good riddance to bad rubbish, and if someone's being negative, they're gone and they've taken that drama with them. But you could also say it as like trees renew, don't they? And old habits die and go. We can outgrow people. There's nothing to say that even if they come back that you have to be with this person. If they're not emotionally intelligent, or if they've got people that are operating them and controlling what they do and how they feel and what they think, you may not come back into alignment because they might not be allowed to do that, you know, or they may not choose to do their own spiritual work, spiritual growth. But it's not necessarily bad, this, because it's like, I see it as like old ways being shed, old habits, old ways of thinking, old issues, blocks, challenges. But that does seem very shut off. Like, that person's just like, well, they're gone, and, you know, away with them will go the issues. But in this case, unless that's going to be a shedding of people around them, you know, like a cull of like people around them that are trying to control them. Like, say if you've been controlled by a parent and then you break ties with that parent because you realise they're narcissistic or something, off they go, do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, they're taking the badness with them, so it's not bad news. I don't know, in isolation, it's a depressing card, but there's something really weirdly positive about it. And then with all this other stuff, we'll keep going, don't worry, we'll find out what's going on. Emotional intimacy. I'm afraid to truly open up to you. Being raw and authentic with my emotions is something I'm still working on. You've definitely got someone who just does not open up at all. They got you on block. There's a really big need for emotional intimacy. They know that it's their issue, and they are going to announce or express how they truly feel. Like you said, it makes no sense. My situation made zero sense. The last time me and my person saw each other, a year and a half ago, we'd had the best experience, like, so far in a year and a half of knowing each other and dealing with each other. It was really fantastic. Boom, lights out. And what was happening there end was total chaos, and I didn't know. And then what was being posted on Facebook was just picture perfect, like scenarios, and like it seemed all perfect. So I was just stuck on the other side of this like mirrored glass, unable to see in, you know, other than like things that were like on the front of that glass that, you know, that wanted to be seen. So then I was doubting myself and I was just forced to get on with whatever. But there was all sorts going on behind the scenes, all sorts going on. But you don't need to control that, and you can't control it. You need to surrender it to the universe and get on with your stuff. Okay? That's what you've been doing. And then it could be twin flames, or it could be that they're being operated in a very toxic, you know, environment, home environment. But they'll come back to you. Okay. If it literally makes no sense and the last time you saw each other everything was great, there's stuff going on that you don't know about and you're not supposed to know about it. That's their shit and they will deal with it. Okay. And it could be like a year and a half, 2 years, and then you'll hear from them. I'm telling you now. You will hear from them. On the bottom of the deck, there's jealousy. I'm very jealous. I can barely stand it. They're not going to forget about you. They're not going to forget about you at all. If anything, when you try to stop, think about Romeo and Juliet, the number of barriers and challenges there were between the two of them. The more the maid tried to warn Juliet, the more the mum said, you've got to do what your father says. The more the father said, you're not allowed to do, you know, this, you have to go out with that person. She went and married the person she wanted behind everyone's back. You know, like, you're only gonna make someone, it's gonna look like the people blocking this are winning to start with. It's gonna look like that for a long time, to the point where you give up, right? And it feels like tragedy. And then they're gonna, by their own volition, just blow all that to the side. They're going to press the detonator and they're going to blow every block, everything to the side, and they're just going to, like, nothing's going to stop them from getting to you. I'm telling you that now. You come back to me when this, you know, in 12 months or whenever, you come back to me and you tell me how it went down, because I'll be like, I'll be here to say I told you so. Oh yeah, I've forgotten another one. He was banished from Verona, wasn't he, by the prince. Can't remember. It begins with E. Love your shadow. Accept and work with the flaws in yourself so you can learn to accept others as they are. They're in denial about something, okay? They're being operated and persuaded and manipulated by other people. There's financial manipulation as well as emotional manipulation, as well as physically restraining people. You know, we talked about spiritual manipulation. People are manipulated in so many ways, you know, manipulated with fear. You'll be cut off. How many people have been told, like, you'll be cut off from the family business, you'll be cut off from any assets, like houses that you're supposed to inherit, you'll be cut off, you know, like, from us emotionally, we're never going to speak to you again. Something weird going on there, guys. Something really weird. A badly behaved person is a badly behaved person. That's what my mum said to me. And she said someone could be related to you. They could be a child, they could be a parent, they could be a sibling, they could be a lover, they could be a best friend of, like, many decades, they could be a boss. But if they behave badly towards you, you get them away from you. You do not continue with it because they're related to you, or it's your mum, or it's your, you know, such and such. And I can't, and we've always known each other, or, like, you know, it's my brother, it's my sister, it's my son, it's my daughter. No. Certain things are over the line. Boundaries, when boundaries are crossed, it doesn't stop. And that's just a person hurting you, you know. They're allowing you to be hurt over and over, to be let down over and over, to stopping you from getting you where you need to be, you know. It's, but people have to make those decisions for themselves. If it's people they're related to, if it's people they live with, if it's people they somehow behest to, you know, they've got to break the shackles. People have only got the power that you put in their hands. Oops, nearly knocked my candle over then, that would have been bad. I never imagined so much perfection, sex with you. I feel the same way. I'm just reading Varian Redbeard's comments. So they love You know, they're very passionate about you. What's Six of Wands is to feel recognized, to feel noticed. Six of Cups is, you know, to be in love, to make love. Six of Pentacles, reciprocity, equal give and take, like not being a lazy lover. Everything's very reciprocal, everything's very, you know, loving, everything's very passionate. I never imagined so much perfection. They just like, you know, have you on such a pedestal. I feel the same way. It's freaking, look, it's freaking me out. That you're right, like something doesn't make sense here and it's not supposed to, but all will be revealed by major change. I don't think it's going to be in the next few months. It could be, I don't know your time scale, but yeah, if you think about the changes that this person is going to need to make, breaking out of an existing dynamic, whether that's with a spouse, children, parents, siblings, a toxic boss, whatever it is, that's got a chokehold on them, that's not that easy to undo. Okay, a boss you could maybe like leave overnight, you could just run away, you know, you're not a tree. And at the end of the day, you can get a reference from human resources to say like what date you worked from to another date and just explain and say, I'm sorry, but that person was particularly toxic and I've got very, you know, good like recommendations from every other workplace I've worked. And I don't know if you've ever come across that. You know, you can try to appeal to a future employer and just explain that that was one bad egg. But when it comes to parents and trying to rationalize that you are detaching from, you are divorcing from a parent, or you are divorcing from a child, or you are divorcing yourself from a religion or a culture, or do you know what I mean? It's big shit. So you don't do that overnight. Some people can't come to terms with it and so they don't. And then some people delay it, think they're not going to come to terms with it, and then it gets to the point where the pressure cooker just lid's blown off, you know, like can't take it anymore. Or they have some sort of epiphany, you know. With the narcissists, children often realise through age. So in their 20s, they tend to realise stuff that they hadn't. They see things in a different way just because the evolution of the relationship is sort of laid out for them to see what's really going on. The pattern hasn't changed. You know, it can be like that with marriage. It can be like that with... She's in her 50s, is she? I mean, I feel, you know, this is a collective reading, so it's going to be someone dealing with someone younger, someone dealing with someone older. Laugh about it. That's weird. What a strange thing to come out. Laugh about it. Why? All I can think is that things have got too serious. Everything's got so serious. There's so much emotion, so much drama. You're going to have to find a way to lift your own spirits to, you know, recover and get on with your own ascension so they can get on with theirs. because I don't get well off about it's coming from. That's bizarre. Maybe it makes more sense to you. You might have a very good, like chemistry with this person. I don't mean sex, I mean like, like banter. Like you can make each other laugh, and you're quite quick-witted with each other. Hi, Artie Vans. Focus your energy. Your intentions hold great power. If you want to manifest healing this situation with this person, wish them the best. Okay, have unconditional love. Hold a loving space in your heart for them, and surrender it to the universe. Okay, like help you. Ask your angels to help, protect them, to help protect you, to just want the best for them no matter what happens, whether it means them being with you or not. And, promise to focus on yourself, what kind of life that you want for yourself to work on, and like, hope that they do the spiritual work that they need to. Because you're doing yours, you're already watching tarot, you're already trying to reflect, trying to understand, what's going on or why is it like this. Love your shadow. Accept and work with the flaws in yourself so you can learn to accept others as they are. People aren't perfect. The whole point of being in this human, husk is not to just already know everything. We know nothing compared to what we're going to know by the time we're on our deathbeds, and when we die, we have an ego death, and then suddenly we have unlocked levels of enlightenment beyond our wildest dreams, and we're not concerned and plagued by the things that we were, like mortgages, like, who's got the tightest skin or the biggest abs or whatever. We're not plagued by anything like, oh, it's not right to be this skin color, it's not right to be this religion, or it's not right to be like, we're not. Oh, just it all goes, and it's just peaceful and lovely and ethereal, and we're so much more grown when we've died. Like, you can have like the biggest prejudices over anything, homosexuality, anything, and then once you die, you're just not concerned with that anymore. You've got people guaranteed around you that have passed away. They can see everything you're doing now, they're proud of you, and they could have not spoken to you because you said you were gay, or they could have not spoken to you because you said you weren't going to be the same religion anymore, or they're not going to speak to you because, I don't know, you had a child out of wedlock or something, or you did a divorce, and people shouldn't divorce. Whatever issues people had that are to do with what other people will think, it's gone. It's gone. Okay, they don't feel like that once they're out of their human body. Okay. I can't even remember why I started talking about that. I'm so sorry, Cancer. Just went off on one there. Why was I talking about? Oh, learn to accept others as they are. No one's perfect. Okay, we've all got limitations, we've all got strengths, we've all got weaknesses. We've also got like hang-ups, we've got certain judgments that we've got about particular things, and we're constantly changing and growing. The stuff I think is okay now that I never thought was okay, like when I was younger, every like 10 years my mind like develops and changes, and I think about things in a different way. You're exposed to more experience, you've been to different places, you've seen different things, you've watched like people fall together and fall apart. It's just, you will not be the same person in another 5 years, in another 10 years, and they won't be. I do that a lot. We've done that. We've done that. Right, we're on to this one. Subconscious mind. I realise that subconscious beliefs or programs may be holding me back from my desires. This is freaking me out. For example, if I want money, I may have been told things growing up that I am subconsciously holding on to. So I go back to my past and release beliefs that no longer align, substituting them with ones that do. Oh, I just getting shivers, like I can't understand like what is going on today, like I'm getting shivers. All is okay. All that I feel is okay. I hold myself in love through the unsureness, the worry, doubt, anger, fear, anxiety, rejection, and overwhelm. I am thankful to feel the full range of emotions that I do. These emotions are the very contrast that leads to my higher expansion. Oh my God, I feel so emotional today. Like I want to burst into tears, and it's not my reading and nothing to do with that is mine. Even here, you've got like the number 6, the number 2. It's all like even, balance. Like there's nothing wrong with you two as a pair, but there's like, they've been told something is not right, something is not okay, something's not in line with certain belief systems, or something's taboo or like unconventional. It wouldn't work. It isn't right. I don't know what the issue is. That's the only thing I can't tell you, but they've used money as an example. If I want money, I may have been told things growing up that I am subconsciously holding on to. So like one of my exes, you know, he was doing really well for himself financially, and he'd always been in poverty, and half, like one side of his like family didn't work, you know, and they were like hated the state and, you know, like benefits like street and all this. Didn't like, I could tell they really did not like it when he started to do really well, and he worked his arse off, and the other half of the family all like worked hard, you know, like came home, like were happy for other people that were doing well. And it was just like, it was so weird. It was like light and dark, day and night, like very opposite kinds of people. And he felt stuck in the middle, and like he needed to get on with, you know, like the dark side of the family, and like he was betraying who he was if he didn't like associate with them. But it was like only bad things ever came out from being around them. Why did I start talking about that? Why did I start talking about that? It split us up in the end. So at some point, this person going to see the light. But when that's an environment you've grown up in, you feel like you're betraying who you are to walk away from certain people in your life, because they've always been there, you know, they like helped to feed you, or they put the clothes on your back, or like, you know, anything they've ever done for you, you're ungrateful, or you're this, or you're, you know, betraying who you are. And don't forget your roots and where you're from. Bollocks to that, because they're toxic. They are toxic. People should be encouraging you to be with the person that you love. They should be encouraging you to thrive. If you start to do well, they should praise that. They shouldn't be jealous. They shouldn't be like trying to split you up. They shouldn't be telling you like what's not good for you. That's very negative, and it seems like it's coming from a place of, you know, selfishness rather than selflessness. Have a child, or you have, you know, younger people in your family, or you should want them to find their wings and fly. You know, you shouldn't want to clip them and keep them close and tell them how dangerous the world is. That's weird. That is the opposite of, you know, nature. There's a lot of people that will do it though. I've known parents to operate children because they need money from them. They need a place to stay if it all goes tits up at their latest, you know, booze house. They can't be asked to looking after their other children, so that they want, you know, their eldest child to look after the other children. They want that child to act like they are their husband or their wife, which is just fucked up beyond belief. They're parasitic, and they tend to make everything turn black and curl up. That's, you know, that they're able to get the tentacles onto, including love interests. But I can't speak for who this is. Like you say, if they're in their 50s, they could have parents that are like that still, you know, in their 70s, 80s, 90s. It could be an ex-husband that's narcissistic. It could be a child that's narcissistic, a grown child, a brother or sister. Do you know what I mean? But that person that's I don't know why I'm getting narcissist, but that's what I'm getting. Is a narcissist will force a person to turn off their emotions and forsake what they really want, because it's better for them not to, you know, let their child or their, like, whoever it is that's normal and functioning normally. It's better for the narcissist if they don't think for themselves. It's better for them if it fits in with what the narcissist needs right then. They'll probably encourage it. They'll probably encourage you to be together, but then they'll be the one that breaks you up as well when it's time, or when something doesn't fit in with their plan anymore. So that's why it can be like hella confusing. You can tell I've lived a life, can't you? I'm very tired talking about all this. It's not easy to deal with all this. It's all about emotion, okay? Shadow sides and stuff like this, but it's going to be okay. It was all very positive here. Where things are like foggy, there's going to be trusted ties. They might have to shed some people in their immediate environment that are confusing them or lying to them or manipulating them. Build rapport, believe in mutual respect, and respond with understanding. They may come to you one day with all of this and tell you about it. Dance of souls, be vulnerable and let your two hearts intertwine. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be like hyping it up if I didn't think. It was just like so many cards came out. Recognise and discuss red flags or areas of concern. There's something weird going on, and one day they'll talk to you about all of this. But it's very heavy stuff, so it has to be when they're ready to unpack it. And for now, you've got to take care of yourself, okay? Because it's affected you as much as it's affected them, even though it's like they're people. It affects you, doesn't it? How they shut you off or whatever. I hope I'm making sense. You're going to have to do your best to just stay light, okay? Because it's very heavy. Not good to be in like a fight or flight mode all of the time. A powerful spell will bring you what you desire. You said black magic, didn't you? A powerful spell will bring you what you desire. What? A magical moment will change everything. Be ready. Oh my god. Should we try for a divine timing card? Hang on, these are sliding in the way. Well, where it says a powerful spell, you've got focus, and that's to do with, focus your energy. Your intentions hold great power. So think about the life you want for yourself. Think about, what outcome you want for this person, like in an unconditional love kind of way, and say, if we're meant to be together, can spirit make it so? So you're not like saying, I have to be with them and make them be with me. We're not doing it in a nasty way. We're just saying, if this is meant to be and we're good for each other, please will spirit make it so, and that I surrender it to the universe, but this isn't black magic. This is like, just wanting someone to get free from the shackles that they're in. Maybe it is going to happen soon. September now. I'm getting quite excited about this one now. Am I getting a cold? I feel like I'm getting a cold. My throat was sore this morning. I thought, well, maybe it's just allergies, and then I sound like really weird. I think I've pulled all the cards that are coming for you, Cancer, but you're going to get what you desire. And it's going to be like the thing that you're just like, nah, that'll never happen. Nah, she'll never come back. Nah, he'll never come back. Or they'll never see the light. They'll never realise what that person's about. They'll never realise they're being operated by someone. They will. And one day you're going to talk to each other about it. I don't know if you get to the point where you laugh about it, but I think you're just being encouraged to try to keep things light, because this is a lot. Okay. Something's going to happen this month. Please come back and tell me if and when it does, okay? Take care. And please give this reading a like, share, subscribe, follow, repost, support the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. I've got to go to pottery, and I'll probably do the rest of the signs tomorrow, okay? Alright, take care.